On a hot, late summer's day, a walk in the park in Moabit in central Berlin revealed something unexpected. At first you might think the clusters of people in the shade on the grass are here for a picnic. But then you notice their luggage, and their children, and their despair, and the numbing fatigue of ordinary families for whom the extraordinary has become the new normal. Most of the people here are Syrian refugees. The last time they slept in their own beds could have been a year ago, perhaps 2 years ago. But for now, this is the end of their odyssey from Syria via Turkey, Greece, Bulgaria, Hungary and Austria to the country in Europe that is more willing to take them than any other. Syrians are at the top of the pecking order. They're virtually guaranteed asylum. But if you're from Gaza and you've been waiting for 8 days for your papers, you get a little nervous, like Mohammed.
Hopefully this is going to be my new country, my new home, but I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure about it?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Until you have your papers?
Yes, hopefully.
You'll get them.
Inshallah.
And why did you choose Germany and not Sweden or not Britain, for instance, France?
Actually, Germany, there is a lot of opportunities in Germany. It's a big country. Education is free. I can complete my master. Actually, I got scholarship from Germany before I came here, but I could not go out from Gaza.
After the refugee trauma comes the refugee bureaucracy, the anxious wait for official papers, accommodation and emergency money of £200 a month per family. And then there's the matter of food, courtesy of the Soup and Sandwich Brigade, all of them volunteers. Five-year-old Hassan is a study in underaged resilience. He tries to get his hands on some soup and bread. Fourth time lucky. And then this urchin of the refugee trail hands the bowl to his mother. By the end of the day, the food distribution is more chaotic. In fact, the Berlin authorities are so overwhelmed by the numbers, they can barely cope. So most of the work is done by volunteers, lots of them. Annette, the second from the left, is a single mother of two and currently unemployed. And Frank, opposite her, is a retired bank manager with a few languages up his sleeve.
It's boring sitting on the couch watching TV.
So you're here helping out?
I'm here helping out. Yeah, I'm happy with this job. It's not paid, but I'm quite happy.
I mean, Germany's taking in 1% of its population, 800,000 people this year as asylum seekers. That's an awful lot, isn't it? It's a huge number.
It's a huge number. But if it comes to, faces, when you see the people actually, I think we have a duty at least to help.
Are you also motivated by Germany's history, maybe by some collective historical guilt about what Germany did to the rest of Europe in the past?
Yes, I think so. I think I was born in '63, so in West Germany.
Like me.
So it's kind of, you learn this at school and you have this, it's kind of guilt. But not only guilt, it's something to do something better.
On to the next challenge. Find a place to stay. As night falls, the makeshift camp empties out and there's a scramble. As a refugee, you're always rushing from one bare necessity to the next. Families, women and children get put on buses to army barracks or schools turned refugee centres. But the men tend to be left on the street. Unless they find a volunteer host like Philip Büchner and his family, one of hundreds who've put people up. We join them for breakfast. Their 3-year-old son Oscar, mother Susie, pregnant with number 2, and their Syrian house guests, Reza and Abdu, fleeing ISIS. The Buchners don't speak Arabic or Kurdish, and the guests don't speak English or German, so table talk is a little complicated.
26? 25. 25?
25.
Reza?
26.
26 and 25.
So here we've got a little Google Translate history of the table talk. The word schwanger pops up, pregnant, because Susie is pregnant. Schwarztee means black tea. Herzlich willkommen in Deutschland, welcome to Germany. Modern technology. What do you say to those people who would say, well, actually, I don't want to have foreigners in my house, I don't know who they are?
I say, do your Star Wars again. Like Yoda said, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. So just drop it. There's nothing to be afraid of, seriously.
The man with a tattooed neck would beg to differ. Those who don't love Germany should leave Germany, he and his friends shout. This was a march organised by the tiny NPD. They scored 0.3% of the vote in the last federal election.
Wer es einmal nach Deutschland geschafft hat, der braucht sich doch fast überhaupt keine Sorgen machen.
Whoever makes it to Germany can stay here forever. Are we living in a madhouse? Jens Bauer, the regional leader of the National Democratic Party, asks. The party has couched its hatred of foreigners in a mission against Islamic fanaticism, even though that's precisely what so many of the Syrian refugees are fleeing.
Refugees are welcome here!
On the other side of the road, the anti-fascist pro-refugee demo, slogans in English, perhaps for our benefit. Germany has been more welcoming and tolerant of refugees than any other country in Europe. That's why Angela Merkel is trying to shame the rest of the EU into sharing more of the burden. This country knows more than perhaps any other about the perils of intolerance, about where all this could lead.